In episode 3 of the Sideline Grind, we have Roy Roundtree, the current wide receivers coach at Grand Valley State University. Roy talks through the transition of going from a player to a coach, as well as shares his experience coaching at his alma mater. Hope you guys all enjoy. Let's ride. Good morning and happy Monday. Welcome back, my friends. We had a great interview today with our good buddy, Roy Roundtree, the current wide receivers coach at Grand Valley State University. He's had an interesting path, gone a lot of places, been all over the country, had some serious college football games as a football player at Michigan. Webbs, how would you compare yourself with him in terms of success at the college football level?
Well, I thought that Roy, his story was, there was definitely some parallels. There's no question with that. Now, again, he had different successes at Michigan, was able to have a really, solid career at Michigan. But what I was really drawn to, or what really captivated me from this interview, was his humbleness and just his kind of drive for success. He wasn't caught up in all this flash and all this other stuff. He was just a hard-working, go-get-it-done type guy, and you can kind of hear in his interview, that's how now he approaches his coaching career.
100%. I don't think an interview with us, especially like starting out a brand new podcast, we're nothing at this point, and just having, totally being okay coming on the podcast, talking with both of us, explaining his story, but you can only imagine he talks with us the same way he talks to his players, his recruits, his room, and it's refreshing, just with being around the coaching industry and talking with different coaches. And it's not every coach, but sometimes your personality is different than how you coach, and you might be more strict, you might be more worried about your image and persona because you have boosters, you have fans, you have different coaches that are looking up to you and expecting you to hold yourself to a specific standard. Roy does such a great job maintaining that same persona while keeping his personality, which I think is his biggest trait. Because if I was a wide receiver coming out of high school, I'll tell you right now, I'd want to go to Roy and have him be my wide receivers coach for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, no question. He was real. He's going to coach you hard. He's not going to tell you what you want to hear, or anything like that. So if you want the smoke, go elsewhere. But if you want to be coached by one of the greatest, and who's going to coach you hard but be fair and real, like the most important word, real with you, man, Roy is your guy. Yeah,
big up and comer. Like we said, he's been a few places thus far. Was at Michigan for a couple of years under Jim Harbaugh as a graduate assistant. Left having his own room at some D2 schools and went to Michigan for a couple of years, and now he's at one of the best D2 schools in the country. So we're wishing him all the best and looking forward to watching his journey. So with that being said, everybody, I hope you enjoy Roy Roundtree, current wide receivers coach at Grand Valley State University. Go Lakers. Cheers.
Roy, how you doing, my man? I'm doing wonderful, man. How about you guys? I'm doing great. I just got back to Chicago today from Michigan after a 5-week hiatus there, and just trying to stay safe.
The whole quarantine world is posing some interesting things, so I'm excited to see, Roy, how that quarantine life's treating you.
Woo, different. Yeah. Are you in Grand Rapids now, or are you?
Yeah, I'm moved up here in the midst of everything, so I moved up to Grand Rapids end of March, and just been getting after it ever since. Not really like getting after it in the office or anything like that, but set up my laptop in the kitchen and my table, and got my notebooks and just different high schools that I've been reaching out to, and just trying to take it day by day, but also it weighs on you, man. it weighs on you. So
Yeah.
you know, being a office.
I bet. And I think I saw you haven't even met the other coaching staff or the players yet, right?
Yeah, I was once I got hired, I only met 2 of the receivers, and pretty much, man, just been you know, texting and FaceTime and then Zooming and, you know, just trying to put stuff together for the guys that, you know, later on will go out and work out by themselves, or, you know, just try to give them different drill work to help them.
That's great. Well, congratulations, man. That's, you know, it's awesome move, and it's not too grueling of a move either, having to move cross country or anything. You can just hop in a car and drive a couple hours.
Yeah, that was the easiest part.
Yeah. So, Roy, I just want to jump right into it. Favorite play as a Michigan football player? Was it the fade in the back of the end zone against Notre Dame under the lights? Or was it Hail Mary that set up overtime against Northwestern?
I mean, I guess I have to say, you know, the Notre Dame one. I think that one is established in the history of Michigan. I felt like, you know, still getting talked about till to this day. Even when I was coaching in Ann Arbor, it was nice to, you know, recruit a guy and, you know, go in the locker room and see your picture. You know, it was something that I would say, like, it wasn't something that I wanted to happen, but it happened, and I was thankful it was me, and I held on to the football. So,
yeah.
You know,
was that the play that was called, or was that an audible at the line of scrimmage?
We called it take a shot play. It was the play called in off the timeout, and, you know, just me and Denard, just our chemistry, and he knew he could count on me. And I could count on him to give me the ball. And just pre-snap, just being able to tell him, like, hey, you know, give me a shot. You only got one shot at it anyway. Give me a shot. And he put the ball in the right place, and I made a shot. So
I remember being in the stands. That was just like, I mean, it's first ever game to set the stage, first ever game under the lights in Ann Arbor. And then having such a big second half comeback, it was just like the most surreal feeling as a fan. I can't even imagine the thought process going through your mind in, like, trying to collect your thoughts of what just took place.
Oh man, that was. I still to this day, like, it's crazy that I can remember it. Like, back to the call sheet. It's very humbling to, you know, even make a play like that. And at the end of the day, man, I only had one catch. So it's like, you know, yeah, it's a great catch and everything, you know, you do for the team. But everybody giving me all the praise when Denard did that and Gallon did this. Like, dude, I had one catch, and it was for the game. So, hey, I'll take that.
Well, that's all that people have to remember. You know, you had 10 catches in everybody's eyes, but so, you know, we'll fast forward within college, and you know, you've kind of jumped around at various schools as a coach, but curious to know what that was like as a player. You know, you initially committed to Rich Rod and played with him for a couple of years or 3 years, and then transitioned to Brady Hoke. What was that experience like?
I mean, it was 2 wonderful experiences. One was more, you know, firsthand of college experience. It was different from Rich Rod. You know, it was a guy that, you know, recruited you at West Virginia and end up being at Michigan as the head coach. And I took that into consideration, but also it was Michigan, so it was kind of like, all right, it's like a no-brainer. But also it was hard, like guys like me being from Trotwood, Ohio, which is like 30 minutes from Columbus, and everybody like, oh, why you going to Michigan? Yada, yada, yada. I'm like, hey, you know, you want to, you know, do something different than everybody else. So end up doing that. And Rich Rod was a great coach, you know, more demanding and, you know, pretty straightforward. And I think with Coach Hope having a different philosophy and being in the trenches as far as coached at Michigan before, knew how the Michigan tradition was ran. And I feel like that was one of the big parts that Brady Hope brought back to Michigan when he got there. You know, it was just guys. Some guys wanted to play better for Brady Hope than they did Rich Rod. Not sure why, but that's just, you know, what the situation that I was a part of and seeing in the time span of my college career.
And Roy, I got to kind of just a follow-up with that. You know, with the coaching change, it's obviously difficult because not only are there different coaches now within the office, like you said, different philosophies, different coaching styles. It seems like, you know, for you, it was an easier transition, but you know, it can be tough because when a new coach comes in, he might be running off a few guys. You know, might be doing like a grueling spring practice just to kind of set the tone. Did you see that, or did Coach Hope come in and kind of, like you said, understand what needed to be done and just guys bought into that message right away?
Yeah, I think that was a big thing. They bought in. They bought in from the first day. You know, we knew what type of caliber coach we was getting. He was demanding, but also, you know, he was that player's coach. And I felt like it was a more player coach team led with him. And it was great. It was great, you know, as far as learning and, you know, what we was able to do. Like Brady Hope, it was like no red, no green in the building, like period. Like you were any red or green, you're going to be in for it, you know. So it was great that he overemphasized that in the building. And, you know, he never said Ohio State. It was beat Ohio. You know, it wasn't like that with Rich Rod. It was like, you know, we actually, you know, wanted to hate those guys or dislike those guys in a way that, you know, you just want to beat up on them when we play them on Saturday. So, and betting that all throughout your mind and throughout all workouts, man, it was like, okay, when that game got there at the end of the year, like, okay, we've been talking about it all year. Let's go. Let's do this now. And it ended up happening. So it was great. It was wonderful.
That's great. I do have a follow-up, Roy. When you do become a head coach, are you ever going to take the approach of not wearing a headset on the sideline?
Oh, no, I'm never.
Just had to ask.
I'm never. It's big communication nowadays, for sure.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing your journey. It's awesome, especially, you know, staying close to where I grew up. It's cool to see, you know, you getting that job at Grand Valley.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. So I do, you know, we'll get to the fact that, you know, you graduated and then you had a little stint in training camp in the NFL, but then you ultimately, you know, got into coaching. So what was that transition like to go from, you know, playing the game to, you know, being on the opposite side and actually coaching those kids? And what was that process like?
I mean, for some, it was probably different in a hard way, but mine, it was pretty, you know, simple. I always coached like in, you know, high school. Always like helped with camps. Always like kind of ran like meetings, and then like that really like was my pedestal when I was a junior in college, and having the room and being the older receiver that with the experience. You know, I had to coach these guys. I had to teach them all the knowledge that I knew. And I wanted to pass it down. And I felt like that was the right thing to do. Being a Michigan man, you come here playing a position that, you know, didn't have a lot of, you know, guys, some Hall of Famers, Heisman Trophy winners, Linderkoff. Like, you learn the same type of thing, but in the new era. So with those guys, they passed down the knowledge, and that's what I wanted to do. And once I was playing, I was in the league, like you said, a little small stint, but also in that stage, I connected with, you know, position coaches, head coaches. You know, last year I got a chance to meet, have a meeting with Baltimore Ravens coach Urban, who was my receiver coach with the Bengals, and it goes back to having those relationships. And you know, I had an opportunity to meet with him. He's kind of like my mentor right now, you know, in this stage, because, you know, even before the Grand Valley State job opened up, I'm talking to him probably every other weekend just to pick his brain, like, Coach, how should I take this? What you think about this situation? And he was like, dude, like, Grand Valley State, like, that's a no-brainer. Like, yes, you know, you get up on that job, you take that job. It's a great program. So it was just all about the connection pools. I really learned that, you know, just being at Michigan, man, you never know who you're going to come across. It's not about, you know, what's the, you know, most outrageous thing to get somebody's attention. It's all about just being yourself. And I felt like me being myself, being a leader, know the position, know football. It was great, man. It was smooth.
And what was your in at CSU play for then? I mean, you were in the Midwest and you're from the Midwest. What was that driving force to send you all the way to Colorado?
So I was playing arena football at the time with the Colorado Ice. And I'm like, man, I just need to get some film. CFL's coming up. I can do this, get film, CFL, then I can move back to the NFL. I got some good film. So I did that, playing arena. I was like, man, I was probably like week 9. I'm like, all right, well, this ain't cutting it for me. I mean, I'm going to finish the season. But it ain't cutting it for me. I'm hitting in the stands. I'm falling in the stands. I'm like, God, this is really tough. I'm playing on turf. I'm getting turf burns. I'm banged up, man. And I'm like, man, I'm, you know, 23 years old, and I'm feeling like I'm like 50. So I was like, all right. Coach Heck ended up getting the offensive coordinator job at Michigan Fires, and he gets the coordinator job at Colorado State Pueblo. He called me and said, Roy, you want to coach receivers? Like, you can, you know, come down here, work a year, get some learning experience, coach the receivers. I'm like, think about it. I gave him a call probably like in 3 days after that. I went back home to Ohio, got my car, drove all the way back to Colorado Pueblo, spent the year out there like an internship, but also like I was actually, you know, running my own room. So I did that, man, and got that experience. But, you know, the funny thing is, it's awesome that I got an opportunity to learn from a program like that just came off a national championship run.
Right.
Won a national year. So I came in the following year, so mostly all those guys were back. And coaching the receivers, and we got to the quarterfinals, I believe, or the final 4. And we played Grand Valley, and Grand Valley beat us. So table
that's
now
full circle, yeah.
So let's go. And we got Pueblo week 2, so it was fun.
Oh, that's great. I'm looking forward to following you guys. And I do, you know, when you were out there, that's when John, you know, my brother was at Adams State, and they were just
Adams State, yeah.
They were
not out there. Yeah, we
gruesome. Yeah, 56-0.
Yeah, it was tough for John, man.
I remember going to visit him. We went to, I think it was in Breckenridge, or no, Grand, I can't remember what it was.
Yeah,
and
it was nowhere.
It was like, took forever to get there, and they lost like 63-7. I was like, all right, this is fun. I'm glad we came out here.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on that area. Different, boy.
So why did you want to leave, you know, CSU? What brought you to Limestone and having to, you know, pack up and move yourself all the way to South Carolina? I mean, that's a big transition.
Well, I went back home that summer, and then I felt like I said, I was interning. Coach Check ended up moving on to Illinois. And, you know, he was like, you know, it's a good time for you to, you know, leave the nest. And, you know, I left the nest and went back home, Cleveland at the time, and I just emailed hundreds of receiver coaches, and boom, Mike Furry from Marshall responds back to me, say he might have something to work. Later on, he ended up being a head coach, getting the head coaching job at Limestone. I drive down from Cleveland to go down there to interview. I get the job. Man, I start probably 2 weeks after that, and he named me the recruiting coordinator and receiver coach. Never been a recruiting coordinator before.
Yeah.
He was like, look, you want to learn it eventually. Why not now? So learned that. Boom. I did that. Worked with him for a year. It was great. We ended up signing probably like over 60 kids at a Division II school. I mean, we was hammered from Ohio to Florida, Georgia. I mean, we was hitting every area to get players who we can, you know, provide scholarship, partial scholarships for, and get them opportunity to play college football. And, you know, we did that. We did okay that first year. And then Coach Mallory gets the job at Indiana State, and he hires Coach Heck. And Coach Heck, he reached out to me and said, would you be interested in coaching at Indiana State, FCS? I'm like, oh man, I've coached, 2 years at Division II. Why not make that jump to, FCS and, be able to coach at that level? So end up getting hired there off a phone interview, go through the whole protocol, I move up there, and yeah, man, it was a great experience for me to coach in South Carolina and also get that under my recruiting belt because, before then I was going to try to GA at Tennessee, but they was like, yeah, you have no, SEC territories recruiting, so we have to go with this guy. So I'm like, okay, well, I made that move. I got all the SECs under my belt as far as states, so that helped in the long run.
Yeah, and Roy, you kind of hit on it. You said you kind of jumped into coaching. Obviously, you had your not only your collegiate playing experience, your time in the NFL, and then also in the Arena League. And then you make that jump to being a coach. You have your room, and then you kind of work your way up the ladder. You have some connections, which obviously is huge in the coaching world, is to know somebody at a program and have that to have that phone call you can make. You talked about being a recruiting coordinator, taking on these various different roles. What have you kind of found that as your roles kind of expanded, being the recruiting coordinator, being a position coach, and then now moving to as a graduate assistant, that whole different kind of formula, do you look at it as it's all adding credibility to yourself as you progress, or is there one particular responsibility you kind of want to focus on moving forward? Or kind of where do you see yourself going with that?
Man, it's all been great hours. Like I said, I've just met a phenomenal staff who's, with Coach Harbaugh, and it's been phenomenal that I can use with each stepping stone. Each stepping stone has this value in it, if that makes sense. I feel like what I learned from Colorado State, I performed that and learned it and got gained more knowledge from Coach Flory of how to coach the position from a Division I level, from a guy that played in the NFL, and then going down to moving what I learned for those 2 years to go to Indiana State with, as far as learning how to recruit more, how to gain those relationships, how to communicate with other guys who's getting recruited by these other schools as well, and taking that knowledge with me, and then going to Michigan and being at the Power 5 level and seeing the overview of all of it, like how is it operated, how is practice structured, how is recruiting structured, and being able to have that as far as a viewing point, I feel like I always have that in my back pocket. It's like being a sponge, taking all the knowledge that you have and then applying it. And I feel like that's what I'm going to be able to do here once everything clears up. Just being able to apply all the structure, ability as far as helping a young guy, mature faster. Make it more on them as far as being mature, being an adult that, you can make sure you're waking up 6 a.m. workouts and going to every class, being accountable. So I feel like with me being able to bounce around like I have, the experience that I've got now over the years has really, fit me to who I am.
And what was that jump like? You had your own room for 3 years. What was it like going into, that GA type of a role? Your responsibilities are somewhat changing with that move, right?
Oh man, that was what I asked myself when Coach Harbaugh called me and offered me the job. I said, is this something that I really, really want? Or is it something that, I just want to say, I'll just coach Michigan? Well, I actually took a deep thought in that, having my own room and being able to go back into a graduate assistant role that I didn't remember. I started off interning first. Like I didn't go to class. I didn't have no classes. I didn't have no, I was in my room. I didn't have any input in the game plan. And being able to go back, I was like, okay, well, this is going to help me for the long run. Because now I'm not only coming back to get my master's, but I'm coming back, I'm working underneath Coach Harbaugh. I'm going to be surrounded by a hell of a coaching staff that later on become head coaches or OCs, and you never know, they might need, a receiver coach, and I just think that's just how it is. And, college coaching is all about, who are the people that you work with, but also you lay that foundation like, hey, well, I'm willing to bust my tail to be the best coach I can be. And I feel like I did that. And I was underneath Coach McElwain, Ben McDaniels, Pat Hamilton, Josh Gaddis, like all these other high-profile coaches. And I worked under Coach McElwain for a year, and he ended up getting the head coaching job at Central Michigan. So it was like, man, I got that connection there, and I also got a connection, still at Michigan now. I just felt like it was the right time for me to branch back out to show them that, okay, well, now he got all this knowledge. What can he do to implement and help this offensive, offensive side of the ball here at Grand Valley State? So I'm really, excited to, show the guys, what I've learned over the process, as far as, what I learned in the passing game, on the run game, to help my offensive coordinator.
And Roy, you bring up a good point, and I kind of want to dive into, being a GA opposed to being a position coach. A GA at a large Division I school like Michigan, you can have many responsibilities. Not only are you expected to coach players, which you've had experience not only playing, but then also your years as at Pueblo and Limestone and Indiana State. So that that's probably something that you'd feel very comfortable with. Was there other responsibilities? Did you have to draw up plays? Did you have to run a scout team? Was there anything that you hadn't done before you were asked to do as a GA?
I just think more. I mean, at Indiana State, I did run like secondary scout teams time to time, but it was more demanding. It was more like, hey, like you coaching the varsity receivers, but you also gonna coach the varsity scout team, and you're gonna be like, I like how our GAs ran it. Like I was like the head coach. I had my defensive coordinator. I had my cornerback coach. I literally had everything. Like that's just how me and my because I was the older graduate assistant. So before that was Jordan Kovacs, who left the previous year to go to Cincinnati Bengals, and then they brought in a guy, O-line guy, to help me. So I just, like you said, just being able to practice these things, watch film with the defense, because all that week you are that team. You got Army, you are Army. You got Michigan State, you Michigan State. Like I expect you to want to get better. We always had that. We had an improvement list, snap list, and stuff that we wanted to just be able to make them be accountable for, because at the end of the day, you don't want to be on scout team. You want to be on scout team if you need to develop. Yeah, you ain't going to play freshman year. That's cool. But also, scout team was for you to get better, for you to be able to compete against the varsity, the starters every day, to make them the best that they can be on come Saturday. And that's how we held ourselves accountable. Like I felt like, each win that Michigan did have, the scout team was proud of, because they know they gave their best that week for us to look team.
And how did you, get the scout team ready? Potentially somebody who lost their starting role and are now on the scout team. You have different circumstances where guys might be a little pissed off that they're not, starting or getting more playing time. So what did you do to, get the scout team ready and be prideful of the role that they're playing within the team?
Well, like I said, I'm a pretty passionate coach. I take everything personal. It's not the fact that it's the scout team, but that's my job to make sure that the scout team is performing to a high level, because that's what the head coach expects. That's what the offensive coordinator expects. If the offensive coordinator sees like, hey, Roy Tree, like this card is wrong, they ran the wrong coverage against this play, then guess who got to hear it? I do. So I make sure that it's all accountable, not just from me, but for them as well. So you paying attention to film, I'm not only helping you, but I'm helping everyone else that's watching this film. So they kind of threw away they pride and knew that they had to get better, and that's why they was on that team. And also knew that I wasn't going to give them any let up, because just the situation of being a Michigan alum, man, is you get that responsibility to come back and coach, and they're trying to give you all the resources possible to make sure that you absorb all that to be the best that you can before when you leave Michigan. So it was great, man. They listened, they was involved, they loved it. They compete, and I love when the DB shut down our receivers. That makes me look good.
Sure, yeah, I can imagine. So, what was that experience like then for coaching for your alma mater? I mean, did it give you, allow you to connect more with the players, knowing that you've been in their same shoes, you've played under the big house, you've made huge plays and big plays that are remembered for all the Michigan fan base. What was that kind of like, and how did it also help in your recruiting?
I think for me it was different because I'm the type of person, I'm humble. I mean, everybody can tell you that. So even when I went back, I never told them like what I did. I never told them like what catch was outrageous. I never told them what record I broke. I'm like, dude, like leave your legacy. Like what I did was years ago. Like what you gonna do? How they gonna remember you once you leave Michigan? Like how you gonna set you up for the best? How you gonna use Michigan the best way that you can? Because at the end of the day, that's what Michigan is doing, and that's what I try to give to every college athlete. Like I've done it, I've been around it, I've seen it. Like you can be on scholarship, man, but you also can be that fool that lose that scholarship because you messing around and you're not taking it serious. So just being able to just teach them the right way, man. Just give them the right knowledge that they need to know. Like don't no kid, no college student want to be baby and text thousands of are you going to class, this and that. That's where the maturity comes in. Like how can we be accountable that I can know, like I can go to sleep at night knowing that when I wake up in the morning and staff meeting, your name is not on my list. That's the type of situation that you try to, go on for, because when you're in the business, you got a meeting, you ain't going to be late for that meeting because the other guy's not either. So just being able to just show them the right way, and that's how it was when I was there, man. I just gave them my all. Like even time they wanted to ask questions about something, I go in depth. But outside of that, man, what you gonna do? How you gonna do? Oh, we didn't practice like that. Just little talk like that. Like, look, you're a starter. Like you gotta give it your all right here, man. This young freshman looking at you right now. Like, what you gonna do? You gonna fold or you gonna perform well? So a lot of those smart little challenges, small task challenges that help them really get their mind together. But it was great with recruiting as well, man. It was great being back. I'm not gonna lie about that. It was great being back.
Roy, you kind of hit on it. You sounds like you're really the same person from your playing days to when you were there coaching as a graduate assistant. Leading by example, bringing the juice every day, holding people to the same accountability you probably hold yourself to. That's all signs of a great coach, a humble coach, which I think is a huge attribute that will only serve you well in the future. I guess my question is, I did something similar to what you did, playing and then end up coaching at my alma mater as a graduate assistant for 2 years at the University of Minnesota. And what I saw was in the whatever 6 or 7 years or 5 years, whatever it was, from the time I played to the time I started coaching there are so many changes, not only to the university, but to the football program. Did you see that as well? That the university, it's actually the campus has changed, or were there massive changes to the football program, or kind of how did that look to you when you first got back on the campus?
Oh my God! Well, they got Jordan, man. Like that was a big change. I mean, to be honest with you, like having Jordan, like what kid don't want to wear Jordan sneakers, Jordan cleats, Jordan everything, be sponsored by Jordan? I was like, when that happened, when I wasn't even coaching, I was like, oh my God, these dudes are like lucky. And then I get there and I'm like, oh, well, hey, I guess I'm lucky too. So that was good. I was right with them. But just the buildings, the facilities that they got now at Michigan is just outrageous. Like, and it's not just for football; it's from all the facilities, the athletic facilities that they have there. And, football, man, it was different. Whoever thought, they're going to Paris or they went to Italy or went to South Africa last year. I know I wouldn't have, ever thought I would be in any type of catching a flight to Paris or South Africa, with Michigan football staff or Michigan football team. So that was really great, man. Time cherished that I'll never forget. And it's and like I said, shoot, like you say, Minnesota, what they expanded, their stadium, man, they facilities out there, that campus, it's outrageous how much these universities changes, because you know what, you got to be able to stay up to date. I got to stay up to date with Bama and Clemson. You want guys and recruits, it all comes down to those facilities and, of course, the academic aspect of it all too.
Well, yeah, well, you bring up a really good point there of kind of the arms race within college football, especially when, there's the amount of money at a school like Michigan or the other, Power 5 schools that are all competing for top-tier talent, top-tier recruits. What I found, too, was the changes of being the life of a player. Not only did the practice schedule change slightly with a little bit more restrictions, no more two-a-days, things like that, but also, housing, academics. Even what I found the most that I think I would have benefited from most was having meals provided kind of throughout the whole entire day. I remember when I was playing, it was you get one meal a day and then some snacks along the way. And I think even when I was playing, they couldn't even give you they could give you bagels, but they couldn't give you any spread or any type of cream cheese or anything. Crazy rules that the NCAA had. Did you of that kind of get loosened while you were coaching, where the players really had a really pretty solid start of the day, end of the day, and all the resources that they needed?
Oh man, I think that's it's been great. I know that being able to be at Michigan and see how they run, how they ran it. So they got we used to have tick cards back in the day, but now they got actual debit cards, and the nutritionist updates this amount of money if they don't have dinner, if we ain't got dinner at the building. She updates the card so you can go to any healthy place. Chipotle is really the main thing in Ann Arbor. So they all go there, get burritos, bowls, healthy stuff. Back then it was okay, you get these chick cards, you go to Pizza House, this is what you eat. And now it's different revenues, far as they can come in any time to get a snack. They got people who can, chefs just making your egg omelet for you, your bagel, whatever you need.
Sure. Well, I do want to, you both touched on your experience playing. Not throwing shade at Adam. So, Roy, your redshirt freshman year 2008, Michigan beat Minnesota 29-6, and Adam's stat line was 13-24 for 105 yards and 1 interception. So, Webb, how do you feel about that?
No, yeah, not good. Not good about that. Probably one of the best defenses probably went against in my 4 years of playing. So would have liked to have a different stat line. It's always it's one of those things that you look back on and you're like, was it really? I don't remember being that bad, but I guess it was pretty bad. But those
was that the last year at the Dome?
Yes, that would have been the last year at the Dome. Yep, 2008 was the last year at the Dome. And I remember, the team coming across and getting the, what was that? No, that would have been 2008. And I'm trying to think, was that Big House or was that? 2008 was our last season in the Dome. I know that.
It was at the Big House.
Yeah, it was at the Big House. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
But yeah, playing for the Brown Jug, it's not the same type of rivalry as that team in Ohio. But definitely playing for the Brown Jug. It's a little lopsided as of recently, but still a fun trophy to play for.
Oh man, them Gophers looked good last year, man. I know they got some firepower. The Jug is up to date this year, though, Adam.
Yes, it is.
Minnesota boys.
And that's, it's not a rivalry unless it can be equally matched. So hopefully, the maroon and gold put together a solid team, and we can have some heavyweight fights in the Big Ten again.
Hey man, they're doing a good job over there, man. Y'all gotta They got a good team coming back, and it's gonna be a nice game, man. It should be a good one. Brown Ducks staying in Ann Arbor, though, so just that shit ain't going nowhere.
That's it. No, it should be. That's the way it should be. Just like you said, it's
They keep it in the locker room too, so it's good. They can do it every day.
That's, like you said, so you can look at it every single day and how important that is to see those things. And then most importantly, it's teaching guys that have had it their whole entire time to realize how precious that thing is when it's not there, and how that can create that fire when you're not feeling it in the morning from morning workout, whatever it may be. You see an empty trophy case, and that's the motivator. That's your reason why to get up and give that extra rep. So, I know the Gophers do the same thing. So it's, there's universal things about collegiate football, but it's also interesting to hear how other programs do it. So, more power to Michigan, but it's going to be a good game this year for sure.
Hey, Roy, is the picture of the catch against Notre Dame in Schembechler Hall?
The catch against Notre Dame. Yep, there's a Schembechler, and it's in at the stadium.
So you never walk up to that and just talk to players and say, "Yeah, that was me. No big deal," and kind of just rub it in their face that you're up on the wall and they're not yet.
Nah, they got to see it every Saturday before they play. I mean, it's right before you leave the locker room, so. But they all ask me about it, man. I always joke with them, but honestly, I tell them, like, hey, I mean, your moment gonna be better, so just being able to seize it, and never know when it might happen. Actually, I didn't know years before that I'd be making a catch like that. Shit, I thought it was normal to catch a touchdown.
Well, we do have a couple more questions, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
I did want to touch on, we said about how Rich Rod and Hoke, and then coaching with Coach Harbaugh. What have you kind of taken from each of those experiences and used to mold yourself into the coach that you are today?
Just being confident in what you explain, and being confident in the drills that you run, being confident in the staff meetings, knowing what you're talking about, and having just having that point of having a backup plan as far as, like I said, like conversation. Because Coach Harbaugh hit you with, "Are you recruiting this guy? Okay, well, how many family members he have? What he like to do? His hobbies, just little things like that, man, that you pick up on from, Coach Harbaugh, and just Coach Gatt, just being detail oriented, making sure everything organized, making sure everything is, is clear and precise, so your players can know what they got to do in this play, understanding why they doing it, and just going down to the team, man. And I felt like it was just every coach that I've coached with or learned underneath has taught me a lot of value that, can transition to wherever I'm coaching at, or, whatever I'm doing at the moment.
And you touched on, recruiting, and I'm curious to know, what's your approach in today's climate, like with the quarantine going on and the pandemic going on? What kind of advice do you have for players that are trying to get their name out and, not being able to go to camps and on recruiting trips? What type of advice would you give for somebody trying to go to Grand Valley?
Don't give up. Like I said, kids, trainers, they get involved in all the nonsense. Like, it's no signing day until December, and there's no signing day until February. Like, you still have your senior season to, get your name out there. Even though camp's probably not going to go this year, that should make you even go harder on film. That should make you want to be like, oh, how can I, do this better? Then all the guys that already got scholarship based off junior film or sophomore film, just being able to trickle down like, hey, man, well, I am good. Like, just still having that confidence booster, because at the end of the day, not only you not being able to display your skills to college coaches, everyone is. So it's like you all in the same criteria right now, but what's going to separate you is that senior film. On a lot of guys, it's going to separate them. So Even guys that commit to these Power Fives, if they don't have good senior clips, and some people that didn't have offers, they can give those offers as well. Like, they can give them an offer as well, because there's nothing like official until it's signed. People can be committed. I understand. Like, I was that kid. Listen, I was that kid back in the day. I was committed for a year and a half, and I ended up to Purdue, and I ended up signing with Michigan. So I already know in that brain shell, like, okay, all right, you can be committed, but at the end of the day, you're not signed, so it doesn't really matter. You know what I'm saying? So it's just being able to recruit guys to the last inning, unless the guys be like, all right, coach, like, I'm fine, like, you can't recruit me, I'm solid. And you still have those coaches that still can go in and try to recruit a kid. But the only thing is, man, high school seniors, prospects, man, just being able to stay focused, because everybody been inside, just being able to work out, jog. Like, I always told, like, my receivers now, like, jog, like, run, do push-ups and sit-ups. At the end of the day, like, you're going to get stronger. You're still going to get faster, but the main thing is stay in condition right now. All you need is push-ups and sit-ups. You can do that every day. That's no excuse. You know what I'm saying? So being able to work around it and just having hot film, having a crazy senior tape would be great.
And Roy, one thing about recruiting, I want to kind of get your opinion on. Are you finding that? Are you more of a Twitter guy, or are you communicating more with recruits, or having that type of relationship on Instagram, or is it Facebook? I know it's kind of all over the place nowadays, but you've kind of seen the progression of how the role of social media plays. And do you think that Twitter's more of the route, or are you on other social medias?
Yeah, I normally just go off Twitter, because majority, if I follow a kid, then I at least watch his film, and I know that he probably has a good chance of, probably later getting an offer from, our staff. And also be able to just follow them and see, what they tweet and, how they operate daily. Like, if it's a kid that I feel like I'll follow and I feel like I got a chance, but they start tweeting all off the wall, then I just unfollow them. I just feel like it's just the right thing to do. And like they all say, every coach that's on Twitter and says like a job interview, it is, because we all think you're a high caliber player. We all want you, but if you got bad news on Twitter, then hey, it's like self-elimination. So that's how I kind of see it, Adam. Like, I mean, a lot of coaches do IG, Snapchat. I just feel like it's just too many guys to, just be trying to orchestrate different accounts off of to communicate with them. It's either that or I text them, so it's easy.
So are you, is part of the reason for moving, to so many schools just to get your Twitter follower count up? Because I know everywhere you go, you're getting more followers with the fan bases and recruits that come.
Well, no, I mean, no. I wouldn't say that, because, you could be not good at all at these schools and nobody want to follow you, fan base or not. I always had mine throughout the year, definitely when Twitter definitely started up. So I kind of started making my brand like my junior year, and, I've just been keeping it account, since. And as it grew into more social media, you start getting more and more guys posting their huddle account on Twitter, which is great. And then being able to follow them. So I was like, it was an instant message, boom, boom, right there in your face. So it was easy for you to maneuver with. Fans gonna follow, man. They gonna talk smack to you too. So you just gotta, you can love your Twitter account. I mean, I'm on there, but I'm not really on there. It's like, I'll post something, I'll check, see some of my guys, and, go on about my day.
So you're not getting caught in the weeds?
Yeah, I ain't getting caught. Yeah, I ain't got to tweet. Because you can't, you can't talk to, certain classes. So you can't funnel around with all that stuff, because they're still at you or DM you. And, you tell them once, you can't talk to them. And, they still be trying to catch your attention, but let alone you already following them, so you already know, okay, well, I know you're a player. I just can't talk to you yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we do have just one last question, and it's
favorite game you've ever coached in or played in?
Oh man, you doing this to me.
Yep.
Favorite game I ever coached in?
I think I have a guess on the playing one.
The playing one is ever. Yeah, definitely being Ohio State by far. That one in Notre Dame. I had a lot, but the one that I enjoyed the most was Ohio State by far, because we went to the Sugar Bowl that year and won the Sugar Bowl. So I'm taking that one over to Notre Dame only because it was in the same season, so that counts. So I'm good. But I would say this, man. Even though the outcome 2 years ago, I was really excited to coach every game. Every game I've been a part of, being able to coach, and it's been great. I've had outstanding moments through all my, games. But the one that hit me the most was my first game at Michigan. When I first got there, I felt like that was the most exciting, because I would have never thought I'd be on the sideline coaching, going through the whole camp again, whole recruiting cycle, and be able to coach under the same headset as Coach Harbaugh. And that was a milestone for me, and it was great. And it was funny because I told Coach Harbaugh when I left that he'll be hiring me soon.
That's the way to do it. Definitely.
He was like, I will give you a hug tree. I will give you a hug tree, but it's coronavirus, so he just gave me a job. Yeah, that's my guy, man. But I honestly told him, like, look, I've learned so much over the years. It's time for me to branch out. But hey, I'm a coach. I'm a coach with you again, and it was good.
That's awesome, Roy. Well, again, thank you so much for coming on. This has been great. Hopefully, we can have this upcoming season, and hopefully we can have you back on the podcast once we get some football going.
Hey, man, we having the season, man. We having the season. And, Dustin, you guys, thank you for having me, and, wish you guys the best. And definitely be in touch. And, Steve, you got my cell, man. Just holler at you, man.
I will. I can't wait to FaceTime you tomorrow night.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, thanks so much, Roy. Thanks for sharing your story and some insights. Wish you nothing but the best this upcoming year and all the years in the future. So, best of luck.
Thank you. Y'all have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. See you guys.
It's something I believe in. You light up the night, yeah. You light up the night. You got the sun in your eyes.